up with it, man? Polo Sports Talk and Entertainment. Back again with another one. Hit the like button, sub to the channel if you're not a member, and also hit the notification so that you're able to get all of my content and all of my videos. Last night, uh, we took an L to the Detroit Pistons. Okay. Uh, hey, we got it handed to us, and it was just right after I had talked about a couple of hours before that about well about the lies that James Harden had told to KD in reference to the extension, and then also I went into the friction that was going on between him and Joel Embiid, between Doc Rivers and Joel Embiid in terms of what's taking place with Joel Embiid. Sorry about that, guys. Oh, sorry about that, y'all. Now, what I was saying is that Joel Embiid, and he was frustrated about his or Doc Rivers' inability to figure out the rotations, and he was real critical of Doc. Well, now, as you know, James Harden and Doc Rivers have both, been getting into it. And like I said, and we can go ahead and just state the facts, like I stated yesterday, the cold hardened facts. Okay, this guy is the team cancer. Okay, listen, we know about Doc. That's without question. You know, but Doc has pretty much voiced voiced you know the, how he feels about James Harden. Okay, um, you love it, or you hate it or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Okay, from one angle, you could sit up here and you could say that Doc Rivers doesn't really uh, have any room to talk. Okay, but on the other end, you could say that James Harden doesn't really have any room to talk because of his poor play and everything like that. Now he basically said that the previous game it fell on Harden. Okay, he said it fell on Harden. Okay, uh, you know, look, I'm gonna tell you like this. Okay, I'm gonna tell you like this. Doc Rivers is gone. Okay, he's gone after this, and this was what was gonna happen. I knew that this was gonna happen. Everybody was sitting here doing their best to try to tell me that, oh, this thing is gonna work. They're gonna be a championship level team. Uh, you know, Harden and Embiid are the best duo and everything like that. But what did I say? I said chemistry has to work. Chemistry has to mesh together. That's both. Doc Rivers is not going to be able to deal with a guy like a Harden. Doc Rivers is old school. You know, everybody is not going to be a D'Antoni where players are just going to be able to do what they want and run all over that guy. Doc is strong headed, and he's a bull like anybody else, and he'll tell you like it is. Now that's one of the aspects that I do like about Doc, but And Scott does really some really good things, but he also does some not so good things. Okay, and I've defended Doc. You know, in the past, he's not the greatest X's and O's coach, and sometimes his rotations, well, really all the time, they tend to be suspect. You know, but at the same token, James Harden really doesn't have any room to talk. Your success rate is not nowhere near the level of Doc Rivers. Okay, you say what you want, and we can just put the facts out there. Okay, so I knew that this was going to happen. Now I do want to give a shout out to the Detroit Pistons. You know, like I said, I give teams that just do. The Pistons, Cade Cunningham. If you haven't paid attention to this guy, man, you really need to watch him. It's a shame that the NBA is not really talking about this guy, or the only way that they're going to talk about this guy is if you see him on NBA TV or one of the packages or something like that, unless you truly, really love the game like that. But he had 27 points, uh, and Bay, and that's another guy that's been hooping, who's kind of been under the radar. He had 20 points, but they pretty much killed it. And I know they're gonna be like, well, Embiid, he had 37 and 15, yeah, but it's not equating to winning. And James Harden, you losing to a team like Detroit, everybody's like, well, it's a big deal, it happens, da 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 da. Look, y'all picked the perfect time to start struggling, to start having friction, to start having, going at each other. And like I told everybody in here that was wanting to jump on the Harden train and all this other stuff. Like I said, man, this guy destroys franchise. Now, that's not to say that we didn't have our bits and pieces of problems, but he has pretty much lifted everything. Shit, pretty much, all the cats are out of the bag. Okay, now all these reports are starting to come out. You know, all of these guys are frustrated with each other, and it has to do with ego. It's just like what the brothers in the LDBC have been saying the whole entire time. They knew that this was going to happen. And listen, everybody tried to go at me and say that I was capping and stuff like that about Harden going to playing with Harden and stuff like that. Look, I hate to be the one to tell you I told you so. No, matter of fact, you know what? I love the fact that I'm able to tell y'all I told you so. I said it's just a matter of time. He's going to be a model citizen, or it's going to be a couple of games, or a couple of weeks or whatever, and then all of a sudden you're going to start seeing stuff happen. We knew that this was going to happen. We knew that this was going to take place. We knew that Harden was going to come over here with the intent to destroy this team and possibly make it on his own. Even with Embiid, and them saying that he's playing at the MVP level. I don't have Embiid as the MVP. You're not getting it done. Last night, Giannis showed MVP prowess. Okay, Jokic, he shows MVP prowess. Okay, he shows that those guys are showing why they're MVP. Embiid don't have no excuses. Okay, you're taking L's against the really great opponents, and then you're also taking L's against teams that nobody's even paying attention to, such as a Detroit. That's not no MVP level. Oh yeah, you getting your numbers and all that other stuff. That don't mean a damn thing. And look, what's really gonna be evident is when we get our asses bounced out. Man, I'm reluctant to say even the first round. Because the pressure's not going. Like I keep telling people, all the time. Okay, that pressure that when you run into you know what they call a mediocre team in the playoffs is not that not that great or whatever. That pressure is going to be on the better team. It's going to be on the better team. That's just the straight up bottom line. So Doc Rivers, I understand why he put it on Harden. See, Harden doesn't like to be held accountable. Okay, that's his problem. Okay, he does not like to be held accountable. Joel Embiid, he held Doc accountable, which he's supposed to. He was supposed to hold Doc accountable. I like the fact now that's a leadership quality that came about, and he spoke out as a leader. But the bottom line is now all of this friction is happening. You see it happening. It's taking place, and it's happening at the wrong time. This is the time when everybody's supposed to be coming together. You see Milwaukee, how they coming together. They're starting to brew. They're starting to get get things together and everything. At the beginning of the year, I'm talking about in terms of injuries and different adversities that they faced, they were struggling. Phoenix. They've been together. They've been cohesive. They've been chemistry. Hey, might be a little friction or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But that gets swept up under the rug real quick. And then on top of that, these guys, they know what the mission is, right? Boston, they had their friction, went through their trials and tribulations and everything. But guess what? They learned, they move on, they grew from it. And what I'm talking about is Marcus Smart, Jason Tatum, and Jalen Brown or whatever. And then on top of that, they weren't buying in the beginning. They didn't buy into I'm a Jokic system in the beginning. They had trouble grasping it or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Took them a minute, but now they were able to get it. And that's not to say that things ain't gonna happen again. It's the game of basketball. Stuff is gonna happen. Many personalities. There's gonna be some guys that feel some type of way. They're gonna be conflicted. You know, the reason why I bring up all these different teams and stuff is because they've been faced with adversity. Even Chicago, even with the adversity that they have been facing with, you know, you don't really see a lot of finger pointing and stuff like that. Even though Chicago could be much better, this right here, we're not gonna win like this. We are not gonna win like this. We're not gonna go anywhere like this because we're not on one accord. They don't even know what their goal is. You can get up there with the stand on the stand at the press conference and say all these talk a good game, saying oh yeah well I'm good for a champion. Our goal is a championship and all this other stuff. You're not showing it right now because if you would if all of y'all were really focused on a championship like that, all of y'all would sit down and voice y'all frustration, like just the three of y'all, because they're looking at all three of y'all. As a matter of fact, I put you like this: Maxie's more of a leader than y'all. I've said that time and time again, even at his young age, even in his young NBA career. Maxie is more of a leader than both Harden and Embiid. Like now y'all finger pointing, now y'all friction, and we all know James Harden. He's the cancer. I'm sad to say, we were doing good. We were doing good without Harden. We beat we beat teams. Hey, we beat teams without the likes of both of them. We beat teams without the likes of both of them. Right? We were good with Tobias Harris, and we were good with Maxi, and we were good with Embiid, and good with Thibault. We didn't need to have him there. Now it becomes a question of okay, Now Doc is gonna be coaching not comfortable now, and that's what we don't want. You see, like Monty Williams, yes, he knows that he's got a job to do and everything like that, but it's understood. I'm not gonna say that he can kick his feet up because you can never get comfortable, but at the same token, he's in a way better position. This roller coaster bullshit that you're doing, throughout the whole season and stuff like that, you're not going to be able to coach like that, especially in the playoffs. It's just like with Budenholzer. Budenholzer is lucky that he's lucky that they won. He's lucky that they won. And then when they come out with reports, such as the report with uh, Coach Tibbs, right? When they come out with the reports with Tibbs and the whole drama that's going on in New York and stuff like that, guess what? They'll come out and they'll say, "Yeah, well, Tibbs, we're staying with Tibbs." That makes you coach better. But now you got the rumblings. You got James Harden upset. You know what I'm saying? You getting into it with James Harden. You holding him accountable. Embiid is holding you accountable. What you think is gonna happen? It's like the brothers in the LDB have said. This was premeditated. All this was pre-planned. For Harden to somehow, some way, make his move. He, the way Harden sees it, and this is sad to say, and I hate it so much. I really hate it because the media is not going to talk about it. The way Harden sees it is he's got his numbers, right? He's gotten into they're already calling this guy a future Hall of Famer, right? They're already calling this guy a future Hall of Famer. He's NBA 75. He's gotten the MVP. So he feels like, and look, you can say what you want. I know some people are going to sit up here, oh, polo cap, da, 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 da. He pretty much has said, okay, I don't need to prove anything. That's his attitude. I don't have anything left to prove to anybody. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. I could sit up here all day and say, how much I don't want this guy on the team and stuff like that. But we're here now. We got to work with it. I'm like this with Harden on the team. It makes me not even want to really look at the game like that. Look, he played he played he played good the previous game, not against Detroit, but the game before that. Okay, with the exception of that air ball. Okay, but I mean, what do you want? You want a cookie just because you play one goddamn game, but a game that you couldn't capitalize on. He does not like to be held accountable. And I know there's going to be some people that's going to sit up here and say, well, it's a personality clash. Oh, duh, you think? It's a personality clash because nobody wants to deal with Harden's bullshit. Also, it's a personality clash too because nobody is buying into. Okay, while they might be buying into what Doc is doing, his rotations and his lineups and his coaching adjustments still have not taken us where we needed to go. And a lot of people feel that having a coach like Sam Cassell would do it. Not D'Antoni. No, I think what's his name? Alex. Shout out to Alex. He had brought up D'Antoni. Lord no, that we definitely got not gonna go nowhere. We're definitely not gonna go nowhere, especially considering the fact, D'Antoni's track record. That D'Antoni has not he hasn't been successful, and at least Doc Rivers has been more successful than Tony. But I just think that he probably gonna just have to do the Bruce Aaron type of move, which is to go ahead, step down to step up and let somebody else coach. Because I really feel like Sam Cassell, he can lead us to where they need to go. Sam Cassell has been in, he's been on the coaching staff, he's been an assistant for quite some time. And people might get mad, people might get upset, people might, say, "What's wrong with you? You're supposed to support your team." Look, I'm supporting my team, but I'm not going to support bullshit motherfuckers on there. And the reason why is because this isn't what this franchise is about. This is not a Philly brand of basketball and where we need to go. For a long time they had a lot of excuses for why they couldn't help out a guy in Charles Barkley who wasted a lot of his years there in Philly or whatever. You know what I'm saying? His crucial years as a player, and then just became successful with the Phoenix Suns in terms of team success. And is that going to happen to a guy like Embiid? Now Embiid has to show up himself. Embiid has to do what is necessary to win, and he can't be a choke artist either. But all the reputations are on the line for these three individuals. Okay, think about it. Harden has a reputation for destroying, destroying the team, being a cancer, uh, being a shot jacker, being selfish, egotistical, and also can't being a choke artist when it really matters. Not being able to take care of business when when the marbles are there, when the chips are all on deck. Then of course you got Doc Rivers. Some people feel like he's still living in 2008. When this was Boston, and really even then, a lot of people didn't give him no credit then, right? Because of Tibbs being on that coaching staff, and they felt like if he had not had the combination of Ray, uh, Paul, and KG, they wouldn't have went anywhere. And then he time and time again tends to do the same thing in terms of the rotation, in terms of uh, hold on a second. Yeah, but you know, and then when you talk about a guy like Embiid, he never, you know, he hasn't even been to an Eastern Conference Final. You screaming all this MVP. You're becoming the guy that does great, really, really great in the regular season and stuff. You can't blame it on Ben anymore. You can't blame it on Ben. You can sit up here and try to blame Doc all you want to. You can try to blame the front office. You can try to finger point and all this other stuff. No, you got to get it done. So all three of them got problems. And if if our three guys that are supposed to be the quote unquote leaders and are supposed to be, the guys that are supposed to be leading us, to the promised land, so to speak. How are you going to do that when all three of y'all have issues and have not fixed those issues? All of you have issues of your own that have yet to be fixed. All of our front office has had a reputation for years at a time for not putting guys in positions in order to succeed. You know, I'm not going to talk about the Wilt era, because that's a situation. That's a situation where what's up with the true Viking? I see you in the building, Queen. That's a situation where you know he was he was successful, no doubt, but they actually could have did a lot better. So, but I think a lot of people know more about that situation. I know more about the Charles Barkley situation. The Philly organization did not do what was necessary. Even with our Kangaroo being our coach and stuff like that. Even the way that they did him, they they automatically knew he already knew that he was getting ready to go, and so Charles Barkley was left there. They didn't put him in any type of position to succeed like they wanted to. I mean, yes, uh, Julius had got. We had we had at least like three times to where we've had a chance to actually win the championship with the pieces that we have. But they didn't put the weapons that were necessary around Charles Barkley like that, in order for him to succeed as much as they did the other guys, like a Wilt or like a Julius Irvin. Shoot, even with Moses being there, you know, they just didn't. And then when it came to AI, okay, yeah, they gave them, they put them in position. We had some really good, uh, skilled players in terms of defense, in terms of intangibles, what was necessary to win. But I mean, could you honestly go back and look at that roster and say that you had another superstar caliber player with AI? Besides a defensive presence like a Dikembe Mutombo. I mean, come on. And you can you can call you could put Dikembe Mutombo in that line of a superstar, not in terms of scoring, but in terms of like defense, because he is a Hall of Famer. He was an All Star too, and on top of that, you also have to take into account he was the only one besides Ben Wallace that was able to get Defensive Player of the Year 4 times. But I'm talking about an elite scorer, with AI. Name somebody on that roster. You just had a bunch of good players on there. You had a decent playmaker in Eric Snow. You had Larry, a guy like Larry Hughes, at once upon a time and stuff, talking about Matt Geiger, guys like that, but those guys weren't superstars. They weren't all star caliber, type players. And now, okay, y'all went from that that era, the Iverson era, and then you tried to work something out, with Iggy, when Iggy was there, you know, wasn't being successful with that, and then you moved on into we were down for a minute, and then we had the Bruce Brown experiment, the trust the process, which was really pretty much like I've said time and time again, the process of elimination. That's all that it really was. I mean, let's just be honest. So the Philly, I got to give the heat to the Philly front office. We need a shakeup too. They thought Daryl Morey was going to be the shakeup. He hasn't been the shakeup. He has not been the shakeup at all, and he's made things worse. Things got worse. I think things have gotten worse since Harden has been there. It may not look like it because of our regular. Well, what do you mean? Y'all are number one. Da, 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 da. Yeah, we could be number one all day, but you got to be consistent with it too. You got to be consistent too. It makes no sense at all. And you come over there, you acting like the city owes you something. They don't owe you anything. If anything, you owe these franchises something. That's how much of an ego you are. You don't have that much time left to play harder. And listen, I'm tell you like this: it's gonna get to a point where guys don't want to play with Harden because they know what he's about. Even in Brooklyn, look at that now. I know they lost and everything, but look, they're still playing as if they enjoy playing with each other, even in the midst of losing. They're still enjoying, playing with each other. KD knows that he has to roll with the punches. Kyrie knows that he has to roll with the punches. Bruce Brown knows that he has to roll with the punches. Steve Nash knows that they have to roll with the punches regardless. They got the mess out of there. You said we need a new so the Sixers can get a fresh start. That really can get us to the playoffs, not finish time. Time for change, Harden. Okay, you meant a new coach, so we can Westbrook after the season. You no, honestly, man, as much as I like Westbrook, Steven, we bringing Westbrook is not gonna help. And they're talking about getting. Westbrook's not gonna go over there. Okay, I don't listen. Don't listen to that. All right, he's not going over there. Okay, there. It's probably gonna be Melo. Unfortunately, we don't. We listen. We don't need any older or older disgruntled individual. Because let's face it, you might not agree that Russell Westbrook is not disgruntled, but he is disgruntled. He's a disgruntled veteran, and on top of that, you got to understand this. He's my favorite player, but him coming from that LA market, him coming from all that turmoil. the love media, what they like to call it and stuff like that. That's already he's soaking that stuff in like a sponge, and so he's gonna bring even more turmoil and controversy and stuff like that. Yeah, I would like to have Melo, but I want youth though. I want more youth. I listen. A veteran is okay, you know what I'm saying? But how many more Danny Greens are we gonna have on our team, Stephen Green? No, no pun intended. How many Danny Greens are we gonna have on our team? Man, and what I'm saying is that okay, Danny Green should just be at this stage of his career pretty much a locker room guy because you don't really bring no value. DeAndre Jordan, man, I like the fight and I like the heart you've been having the last couple of days, but man, you're a locker room guy. You're a locker room guy, man. We need we need guys we need guys that are actually gonna show, you know, a potential to last us, in the future. What do you want? You want veterans to be there for just a couple. That's what's been going on, Stephen. You get guys there for a couple, one season, 2 seasons, or whatever, then they leave. Not developing no chemistry, not not showing a future or a foundation for the next 10 some odd years. And then Doc Rivers, he needs to man. Listen, Doc Rivers is not stupid. You said we could get M. Williams for Duke, R.J. Love from North Carolina. Well, it just depends on where we fall. Mark Williams. That's another thing too. Uh, you had two guys that declared for the NBA draft yesterday. Um, you had Jonathan Davis and Jaden Ivey. They both and Travion Williams have all declared for the NBA draft. They're all in the top 10. Uh, I like Johnny Davis. Johnny Davis is from Wisconsin. Wisconsin. Jaden Ivey, he's nice too. They're projecting them to be in the top 5. So we got guys that are coming out, that are coming out, and besides the guys that you're finna see over the weekend from this Final Four. I would like to have Mark Williams on. He's a defensive presence that we really, really need. We to be honest with you, and I know some people gonna think I'm crazy for saying this. We're good on scoring. It's our bench. It's our firepower off the bench. It's our coaching that's suspect. And it's a lot of egos on this team right now. Well, mainly Harden and mainly Embiid. Either Baycott or Mark Williams. Those are those are the guys, or somebody, Baycott and Williams. But it just depends on where we're at. It depends on where we at. If we if we're very successful in the playoffs, Stephen Green, we don't need to. I mean, if we, because my goal is to get championship. That should be. But if we're successful, you don't want to stop moving around, pieces too much or anything. Add a piece here or two. But the front office and the coaching and all of that has to get better. It has to get better. It has to get better, man. But besides that, man, I done spoke on the situation, man. This situation is not going to get better. I hate what my Sixers fan base is experiencing right now. You know, I went to a couple of channels that are Sixers Nation, man, and everybody foresees it, man. Everybody's saying either Doc's got to go or they're tired of Harden. You said we can't go to the AC. What do you mean? What do you mean? What you mean, Stephen Green? Oh, it looked like AC. We keep losing. Nah, 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 nah. Well, that's well. I don't think that. I don't think that's likely to happen. I don't think that's likely to happen because now the Raptors. I the I think the thing that can really change is what I mentioned. Hold on one second, y'all. Hold on. Hold on 1 minute. All right. But besides that, man, we're gonna see how this plays out, man. I don't see us going down to no AC though. Um, Steven, I don't think no, we're not that bad, but we certainly we're certainly not no championship team. So y'all let me know what you think, man. Leave your comments, like the video, share, subscribe, hit the notification. I appreciate y'all pulling up Stephen Green and True Viking. Polar Sports Talking Entertainment. I get that shit right.